What is good with the YouTube? It is your boy, Sean Rock to the represent Mandatory Thrive HGBM, because every day it is mandatory for us to thrive, and I am back again with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about a subject that's been talked about a lot, but not a whole lot. And I just want to offer my opinion on it and also offer some advice. Now, my name is Sean Johnson Moore. I represent Mandatory Thrive HGBM. One part of Mandatory Thrive HGM is body movers, where essentially I use and teach people about calisthenics and bodyweight movements in order to build the best version of themselves, whether that's bodybuilding through bodyweight training, movement-based training through bodyweight training. Whatever it is, I want to be essentially a help guide to people to learn more about calisthenics and bodyweight training. And I want to talk about why prisoners get so jacked and so swole despite being on a very not so nutritious diet, being locked behind bars with really bare minimum to no equipment outside of their body weight. And I want to give a lot of different reasons why this is possible, and talk about how we can implement this on the outskirts, because we can even do a greater version of this on the outskirts. So the first reason why prisoners become super jacked in jail, that I don't feel like people understand, is because they have no option not to, because they're in survival mode, right? So what I mean is, if you don't have many options of food to eat, but you're hungry, your brain is going to naturally start to create ways to find a way to make food. Not only that, your body is going to go into its own internal survival mode, which it's going to start to change and transition different mechanisms internally so that you can be equipped to deal with that hunger and to make better usage of whatever little bit that you get coming in, because you're in survival mode. So the first thing is the creativity and optimism of being in survival mode. When you know you don't have weights, when you know you don't have all of these different fancy tools and opportunities, and you know that at any moment a man can be on top of you trying to take your life, this is a very, very intense motivation, right? And it's about survival. So they have to get swole. They don't have to, but most people feel that internal survival mechanism, and it motivates them to say, hey, I need to get swole so that I can protect myself. That's basically the first thing. The second thing is, the body does not know if you're lifting a sandbag, a resistant band, your own body weight, the heaviest weight, a barbell, a dumbbell, a kettlebell. Your body does not know what you're lifting. What your body does know is mechanical stress, right? Body trauma, volume, reps, and intensity. That's all your body knows. So if you're doing a one-arm shoulder press with just your body weight, and you do 1,000 of these every day, do you think your shoulders are going to stay the same? It's just not going to happen, because your body is basically saying, this person, somebody is doing something to me that is not normal. Okay, so the next time that this happens, I need to be bigger, stronger, faster in order to sustain this. So the point that I'm making is that um, prisoners don't necessarily look at training based on like, am I lifting weights, or am I using body weights? Am I using resistance bands? What am I using? They're looking at it like, I need to become strong and big. So whatever I can use right now to get me strong and big, I'm going to use it. If that means I have to use my own body weight and do 1,000 reps, or if I have to use a sandbag and do 200 reps, it really just doesn't matter. I'm going to create some type of volume, some type of reps, and some type of stress on my body to make my body stronger. See, out here, we spend more time worried about what's the most effective method, right? Or we have comforts that we can go to. Well, in prison, you don't have that luxury, right? Because you have to do something, or your life can depend on it. So, same thing, volume, reps, stress. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. The muscle just knows that something's happening to it that does not feel great, and it needs to respond. The third reason is, of course, they have. I wouldn't say that they have. We have an ample amount of time, but they have an ample amount of time and an ample ability to recover. So, time and recovery is very, very precious. Prisoners can't really do anything. So they have a lot more time to work out, and they have a lot more time to recover. Now, we don't have as much time, but we have a similar amount of time. If we make better use of our time, we can get similar results. How do I know? Because I've done it myself. I'm 5'7", I've been like 210 pounds, swole, jacked. I wasn't lean, but I was definitely jacked. And I followed a similar format as, a prison person would do. I would work out in the morning, I would wait a little later, eat, work out again, wait a little later, eat, work out again, go to sleep, repeat. And I wasn't using any weights. I was just using my own body weight at the park. So these methods can definitely work. The fourth thing that I feel like prisoners have or do that people don't do or have out here is high levels of testosterone and competition. This is a big one right here. High levels of testosterone and competition. When you're in a room, in a setting where there's abundance of testosterone, your testosterone is going to raise. When you are in a room where there's an abundance of testosterone and tensions can flare, adrenaline is going to be raised, right? When you're in a room where there's abundance of testosterone, stress stimulus is going to raise. So you take stress stimulus, testosterone, and adrenaline, right? And you put a bunch of men who are in survival mode around. This is just naturally going to make you build more muscle, because you're in a hostile environment where you have to be literally on watch at all times. This will make you this is going to help you get jacked, right? So with us, we would have to create those situations a lot more than someone in prison would have to create the situation. But this is one of the reasons why. And the fifth reason that a lot of people don't talk about is that a lot of prisoners by accident is practicing abstinence, celibacy, semen retention, fasting, and all of these things because there's an absence of women, right? They don't have time. They're not getting a lot of buns. Of course, there's porn and jacking off and same-sex situations going on in prison. But I'm saying it's nowhere near to the level of what you would have access to if you were on the outside with women, as well as you don't have to deal with all of the estrogen and emotion of the women, right? So the absence of women forces men to have to focus in on their self. So this is another big reason why prisoners are jacked. Now let me talk about how we can implement this within our lifestyles. The first way I say that we can implement this in our lifestyles to get jacked is not be so dogmatic about conventional methods and training stimulus. Like, let me give a prime example from my life. I was doing HIIT cardio like every day at a certain point in my training. Now, I didn't start that way. I built up there. And I remember this personal trainer, he was like, dude, you're not supposed to do high intensity training every day. You're going to burn out your central nervous system, blah, 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 blah. And yes, technically, from a scientific standpoint, this can be true, right? However, when you look at basketball players, football players, all of these different type of players, these guys are doing strength training, blah, 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 blah. Now, every day. Now, I'm not an athlete like that, but what I'm saying is that it's possible with certain methods. So you have to be able to, the point I'm making is that you have to be willing to challenge the status quo and do a little bit more than the conventional methods, and always stick it by, okay, well, you're supposed to hit your muscle groups 3 times a week. That's the most optimal. Yes, it is the most optimal, but like you can teeter and try to see how much you can get away with and how far you can push it to see what extra results that you can get, because that's really the secret, pushing the envelope of the conventional methods and finding something that works for you, right? That stimulates you and that motivates you. So that's number one. Number two is we have to think in a survival mode instinct. We have to have a war mentality like prisoners on the outskirts, and not take all of these luxuries of meals and women and being able to go to the basketball game or sit and watch TV and do all of this stuff that we have access to right at our hands, social media, our cell phones and all of this stuff. We have to kind of take on some of the same mentality of like the military and prisoners, right? Who are stripped of those luxuries for the most part, which benefits them because it gives them much more time to focus on reading and training. So I would say the second way to incorporate it is strip yourself of some of those luxuries that you have in a day-to-day basis, and kind of go back to like, not like you in prison, but give yourself some of the benefits of that. Number 3, put yourself around more high-level, masculine, physically strong men. Get around big men, get around taller men, get around more men who are physically stronger than you, right? Who are physically bigger than you, or who are physically mentally stronger than you, or in the same bracket. Get around men, get around competitive environments. Go play pickup basketball more often. Go to the boxing gym. Go lift weights with a group of guys. Create competitions, not for the sake of competing, but for the sake of creating the best version of yourself, of course. Get around men, right, that slightly intimidate you, slightly that cause you a little bit of fear, because what this is going to do, this is going to cause you to elevate your testosterone, your strength, and your fight or flight response. So you have to get around other men who are big and strong, right? Or who are dedicated to being big and strong. This is going to help, because this is what prisoners have to do. They have to do this by just being in solitary confinement. Like, they don't have any choice. So that's another way that you can do it. The fifth way that I would say is that just up your intensity. Up your intensity, man. If you feel like the workouts are challenging you, make the workouts challenge you even more. Like, push yourself past the point that feels like very uncomfortable. Push yourself past that point, because that's going to help. So, hope this video helps, man. Remember, dream big, work hard, live great, don't stop. It's your boy Sean Rock. Till then, I'm signing out. Peace.